as week 2 of the Texas high school football season is nigh upon us. Hours from now, there will be games kicking off live on Dave Campbell's Texas Live. 20 of them tonight. 50-something Friday? Maybe 40-something, 50-something.
No, at 50.
It's 50. And then
we like round numbers.
And I think it's 7 more on Saturday. So lock it into Dave Campbell's Texan Live. There are massive games across the entire state of Texas. More than 690 of them. I don't think there's quite 700, but all that is to say, I've picked out 10 of them with my top 10 Texas high school football games of the week. In week 2 of the Texas high school football season, we will start South Texas, Bay City, and Edna. The Edna Cowboys have looked fantastic. Everyone loves the Edna Cowboys, and they have looked good. To be clear, this is an Edna program that comes off a week 1 win. Looked very good in doing it. A 46-2 thumping of Vanderbilt Industrial. Everything was working for them. Now they get a big test, taking on a bigger program in a 4A Bay City team that is also brimming with confidence, coming off of a 48-14 thumping of Sweeney. And they looked every bit the part of a contender. They got a huge game from their running back, Aiden Williams. I think that's going to be a really interesting challenge here because Edna is a program that prides themselves on being very physical. Now they are punching up, playing a team that is literally larger than them. Can they match up front? That's one thing I'm watching in this one. Edna and Bay City is a fantastic ball game to kick off our top 10 Texas football games of the week. Number 9, Highland Park and Lovejoy. How about this one?
Yeah.
And this is a fascinating ball game. Before you consider any players, this is a fascinating ball game because you will be hard-pressed this season to find a game with 2 more decorated coaches than you will in this one. Highland Park with Randy Allen taking on Lovejoy and Todd Dodge. And for Lovejoy, we didn't talk a ton about them last week, but they went and they got a really nice win over Lubbock Cooper on the road. Wasn't always pretty, but they came out with a win. They stacked in the left-hand column. And specifically, I thought you got Jacob Janicek did a lot of work on the ground, 131 yards rushing, 3 total touchdowns. They are now facing a Highland Park team that I think is anxious to get to week 2.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is this is a Highland Park team that, look, let's just be honest. They are not used to being 0-1. They're not used to losing at home, but they did both of those things last week against Rockwall Heath. They lose 52-49. Give a ton of credit to Rockwall Heath, Coach Rodney Webb and company, but this is a Highland Park team that wants to get that taste out of their mouth. Good news is, offense looks great. Buck Randall, fantastic. But that defense has got to figure some things out, and Jacob Janicek's coming to town, or rather, they're going to Jacob Janicek's house. Who bounces back here? There's also, again, the coaching matchup here. 2 supremely accomplished coaches there, Randy Allen and Todd Dodge, going at one another. Fabulous ball game, Highland Park and Lovejoy. Number 8, Smithson Valley and San Antonio Brennan. This game going down tonight, I believe.
Yes.
In the Alamo City. And it's a 6A versus 5A clash. It's a 5A team in Smithson Valley, the reigning 5A Division I state champs. And last week, no notes. Now, I think they overmatched San Antonio Roosevelt, but we had some questions about what their offense was going to look, or what their offense specifically was going to look like. And they looked great. Caleb Piegler, their running back, went nuts in that game. The defense was itself, we thought it was going to be great. It was. Here comes a Brennan team that the offense did enough last week in a win over Reagan. We know the key components here, quarterback Caden Glass, running back Mekhi Thompson. How do they fill in the gaps around it? And I think you have 2 of the preeminent defensive programs in San Antonio squaring up with one another.
Yes.
That will make this a really fun matchup. You've also got another great coaching matchup here. Stephen Bazor going up against Larry Hill. That's a fabulous ball game in Alamo City. If you're anywhere near Gustafson Stadium tonight.
And to get that on a Thursday? Heck yeah. Cowboys who?
Don't watch the Cowboys. Go out to Gustafson.
You're never going to get that.
No. The Gus.
The Gus.
Go out to the Gus. Ride the Gus bus.
Yeah.
Smithson Valley and San Antonio Brennan. Number 7. Katy and Atascocita.
Always big. I feel like even bigger after last week.
Katy and Atascocita.
Live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Yeah, boy. We're supposed to improve week 1 to week 2. Come on, Pickle.
I did. I made lower thirds this time.
Katy and Atascocita. Atascocita, terrific week 1 win. Carday Mack went nuts at his natural position of running back. Had a terrific game. Katy, we're going to talk with the coach of the team that just beat him in Dickinson. I am not ready. Here's where I'm kind of at with most teams. I'm ready to give every team a 1-week mulligan. If it stunk, it stunk. Whatever. Go out there and fix it. We talk about how there's more improvement from week 1 to week 2 than any other week. Especially offensively. Mm-hmm. They have got to figure it out.
They held Tremaine Hill to 2.6 yards per carry. That's an all-time career low.
They held Dickinson held them as a team to 2.7 yards a carry.
Yeah, they only allowed like 155 yards.
Katy!
Yeah.
They got to figure something else out offensively. Atascocita, an opportunity to drop Katy to 0-2. And I believe we had this note from Michael Silvers. He sent this to us. Mm-hmm. That this would be, remember, really, this is Atascocita has kind of had Katy's number. They've beaten them the last 2 seasons. This from our friend Michael Silvers, who's on the call. If Atascocita beats Katy, it would be the 3rd straight season. The last team to beat Katy 3 years in a row in the regular season was Klein in 1993, 1994, and 1995.
Wow.
It hasn't happened in 30 years. But Atascocita can do it. It's a big game on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. Katy and Atascocita. Number 6. Jefferson and Newton. Fired up about this game. Mm-hmm. Fired up about this Southeast Texas slugfest. And 2 teams that I think have legit state championship aspirations. Jefferson looked great last week in their win over Leonard. I've said this before. I think junior Chance Washington is going to be a name that we're talking a lot about this season at Jefferson. I think he's a star. They got a dog at the linebacker spot in Coben Tomlinson. Not all 0-1s are created equal, and I think that's Newton's a perfect example of that. Newton played West Orange Stark last week on the road at West Orange Stark and played them pretty competitively. That's a state-ranked 4A Division II team, and Newton's a 3A Division II team. I think there's a lot of positives to be taken from that. Specifically, they have a running back, and stunner, Newton's got a running back, Kendra Porter Jr., that I think is going to be really, really fun to watch. This is a perfect example of one of these teams is going to be feeling really good coming out of this game. If Newton or Jefferson goes to Newton and moves to 2-0 that way, they're going to feel really good. If Newton knocks off Jefferson, I think everything about that week 1 loss goes away. Yeah. And you just say, okay, cool.
We're back.
We are very back. Huge game. I love Jefferson and Newton. That game going down Friday, 7 o'clock. Number 5. Jayton and Pasadena First Baptist. Let's get a little hipstery, okay?
A little?
Pickle, what if I were to tell you that this was number 1 versus number 1? Jayton is the defending champs in 1A Division II. Mm-hmm. They're the number 1 team in 1A Division II. Played a weird game against Ira last week where it got delayed by weather, and then I think there was miscommunication as far as like where they're going to pick up the game, and so I think Ira left, and so it went down as a forfeit, but they were winning that game. Going up against Pasadena First Baptist, a reigning state champ themselves, and the number 1 private school 6-man team in the state. You have number 1 versus number 1. That just doesn't happen very often.
Oh, yeah, especially in week 2 of the season.
Oh, my gosh. This is a really tasty matchup. Jayton and Pasadena First Baptist. Hipster game of the week in the top 10. That's, for me, the number 5 game of the week. Number 4, DeSoto and North Crowley. Speaking of teams who want a do-over from week 1.
You went from one extreme to the next.
Yeah. So we talk about how not all week 1, first of all, we're going from the smallest classification to the largest classification and like real hipstery to extremely brand name.
Yep. DeSoto got punched in the mouth.
Let me tell you something. DeSoto, they played a team from Georgia. They went to Georgia and played, like, I've tried to kind of triangulate where this team from Georgia they played is. Creekview, I think is their name. And what I've kind of settled on is that Creekview would be about the 30th best team in 6A. A good team, probably not a Texas State championship contender, but a good team and a team that's capable of beating almost anybody on the right day.
Yeah, and to put that into perspective, they wouldn't even be a part of our 6A state rankings that come out every week because we go to 25.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and I want to be very clear. I do not follow Georgia high school football.
Oh, no.
So there may be somebody who can chime in and say, actually, they're the best team in Georgia, and maybe I believe you, right? But to lose 70-28 in the way that they did, I mean, Pickle, it was ugly.
It was very bad.
They gave up 500-something yards of offense.
And they just didn't even look good. It's not even like a relative to competition thing. They just didn't look
Pickle,
good.
Their offense, their frontline offense, their ones, scored 0 offensive points. Okay? Their 4 touchdowns in this game were 3 kickoff return touchdowns and then a kind of a garbage time backups situation. And then they gave up 70 burger and 538 yards of offense. They've got to figure something out.
Yeah, it's bad however you put it.
For North Crowley, they got to win. You don't apologize for winning.
But they were not the dominant team for most of that game.
But Matt Stepp talked with Ray Gates, and Ray Gates said the same thing, which is like, look, we got to clean some things up.
Yeah, we sat down, and because that was a Thursday night affair. Now, a massive weather delay and all of that a little bit to get shaken up with.
And week 1, right?
And week 1. But they did not look like the dominant team until about real late in the third quarter. And then they started to kick it on. And it was like, man, they barely made it out unscathed.
It's only the 4th time under Ray Gates they've scored fewer than 24 points. They beat them 22-18. 3 turnovers, 10 penalties. It was just not North Crowley football. One of these teams is going to get back on track. Another of these teams is going to be looking around for answers. I think this is a high stakes week 2 game.
Yeah.
North Crowley and DeSoto. Into the top 3, number 3, Muenster and Holiday. This game rocks.
Yeah.
First of all, it's worth mentioning, again, this is a Muenster team that's punching up significantly. This is a 3 Division II Muenster team, or Holiday team. But Muenster looked terrific, 61-0 over an overmatched Fort Worth Lake Country Christian team. Case and Kearney, 116 yards passing, 114 yards rushing. They ran for almost 400 yards. They were doing whatever they want. But also, I think they overmatched that team. Now, here's a promise. They will not overmatch Holiday.
Last year when these two teams played in non-district, the Holiday offensive line was on average 160 pounds heavier than the Muenster offensive line. I
mean, it's silly. It's silly, the size advantage. Holiday looked good last week in a 43-0 romp over Breckenridge. I think they're just better than Breckenridge. Braden Harrell ran for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. They got a nice game from Caleb McClain, their quarterback. I think this is in a lot of ways, you can view week 1 respectfully to the teams that they beat as like a preseason game. Real season starts now. We will learn a lot more about 2 teams we think are legit contenders this week.
Well, and I think even if Muenster goes out there and they can't pull off the victory, if they hang with Holiday, that is a massively positive thing for Coach Carney's squad.
Totally agree. I think that's a huge matchup. Number 2.
Yes. Just yes.
Vega and Celina. This game up there at beautiful Bobcat Stadium in Celina. I talked about this in the picks, so I won't belabor it. But I think that we will get a real gut check on where the Celina reload stands. Because, yes, they have Bo Bentley. And yes, they have Luke Biagini. Yes, they have Villarreal, their star wide receiver. They've got star power, but we have talked about for Celina, the question we have as far as a repeat is concerned is how quickly and how effectively can they reload up front. Let's talk about a team that undoubtedly will test you up front in La Vega. They will play physical, mean, angry football, and they want to sock you in the mouth. That is a Don Hyde program that will tell you if we're the most physical team in the game, then we win. That's it. And by the way, they've got star power of their own. Courtney Parr, Jabari Thornton, they're loaded.
Courtney Parr looked great in week 1.
He sure did. Huge test, I think, for Celina. An opportunity for La Vega to say last year was not a fluke. Mm-hmm. We are here. This is a box office affair between two legit state championship contenders. Number 1, South Oak Cliff and Duncanville. South Oak Cliff and Duncanville.
Live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So it's fascinating because I would say both teams enjoyed their week 1s. Mm-hmm. For South Oak Cliff, hey, no notes. North Shore came up here and went home beaten by a team that's significantly smaller than them.
That's like a fourth of their size.
41-31, not that close. Mm-mm. They dominated from the word go. 481 passing yards. I mean, that's not true. 246 passing yards. 400 yards on the ground. They were spectacular. Levon Morton, terrific. Mikhail Trotter, terrific. For Jason Todd and company, yes, they would have liked to maybe played a little bit better on defense, but you're also playing a 6A team with a Utah State commit at quarterback. I don't think that they have too much to complain about coming off their week 1. Mm-mm. I think Duncanville enjoyed their week 1 because they didn't play, and they were watching a lot of teams that they are considered to be teams in their path look vulnerable. Mm-hmm. They saw DeSoto look vulnerable. They saw Katy look vulnerable. They saw North Crowley look vulnerable. They saw North Shore, obviously, look vulnerable. It's our first look at Duncanville and an opportunity to see a legitimate state championship contender for the first time. Zach Turner, KJ Ford, Ace and Theus, this team, where does the quarterback situation stand? Where does the defensive reload stand? Where does the offensive line reload stand for Duncanville? A lot of questions will be answered. And here's another thing. I think for Duncanville, they have an opportunity to go out there and thump their chest and say, we're the team to beat in 6A. At least in 6A D1. South Lake Carroll does exist. Mm-hmm. We're the team to beat in 6A D1. And for South Oak Cliff, they have an opportunity to pull off one of the most impressive double dips we've seen in a long, long time.
Mm-hmm. And talk about solidifying yourself as the team to beat in your respective classification. Oh, my God.
I think
something would have to go terribly wrong.
Randall, we kept them at number 1 because they beat Richmond Foster 55-0, and that's a pretty bulletproof result. Mm-hmm. It's going to be hard to ignore if they knock off Duncanville this week. It's my number 1 game of the week. It's my top 10 Texas high school games. The week you can find these and many more on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. 77 games this weekend. And then Friday night, 10:30 p.m., we're recapping it all, baby. Right here, Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Myself, Ashley Pickle. 90 minutes of football goodness, scores, highlights, analysis, special guests. That's a tease.
And nonsense.
Your usual nonsense. It's 10:30 p.m. Friday night. Come hang with us wherever you stream. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TexanLive.com. Come watch us. Come hang out on Friday night.